In the tumultuous heart of medieval Iran, amidst magnificent cities and centers of civilization like Tus, a man was born whose name would resonate for centuries. Khwaja al-Tusi. He was not only a distinguished philosopher and scholar, but also a multifaceted and influential figure in mathematics, astronomy, philosophy, theology, and politics. His life was like a complex historical novel full of twists and turns that could captivate any listener. Khwaja Nasir al-Din Tusi was born in 579 AH, around 1201 AD, in the city of Tus, one of Iran's great centers of knowledge. From childhood, Nasir al-Din had a passion for knowledge and learning. Growing up in a family that highly valued knowledge and virtue, he began his basic education and quickly stood out among his peers. His extraordinary talent in understanding various sciences, especially mathematics and philosophy, was evident from the very beginning. At that time, Iran and the Islamic world were going through complex political and social conditions. The Mongol invasions posed a serious threat to the region's civilization and culture. Yet this threat could not halt scientific and cultural progress. In these difficult circumstances, Khwaja Nasir al-Din devoted himself to study and research, establishing himself as a prominent scholar. One of the most important aspects of Khwaja Nasir's life was his focus on integrating science and religion. He believed true knowledge is only complete when accompanied by faith and spirituality. Alongside his theoretical studies, Khwaja Nasir developed an interest in astronomy, which later led him to establish the renowned Maragheh Observatory. At that time, astronomy was not only a practical science, but also a means to understand divine mysteries and humanity's place in the cosmos. One of the most significant events in Khwaja Nasir's life was his encounter with the Mongol invasions and subsequent cooperation with them. Although controversial to some, this cooperation gave him the opportunity to achieve his greatest scientific accomplishments. Nasir al-Din gained a special position in the court of Hulagu Khan, the Mongol ruler, and was able to establish the Maragheh Observatory, recognized as one of the most important scientific centers in the Islamic world. In the early 13th century, the devastating Mongol invasions of Iran began. Large and populous cities such as Nishapur, Ray, and eventually Baghdad fell one after another. These invasions caused severe political and cultural upheavals. Yet amidst this, Khwaja Nasir, with an open mind and unique wisdom, managed to turn this crisis into an opportunity. Khwaja Nasir was invited to Hulagu's court, a turning point in his life. Hulagu Khan respected knowledge and scholars and appointed Khwaja Nasir as his scientific advisor. During this period, Khwaja Nasir embarked on the most important project of his life, founding the Maragheh Observatory. The observatory quickly became one of the largest and most well-equipped scientific centers in the Islamic world. Khwaja Nasir also gathered a group of prominent scholars working in fields such as astronomy, mathematics, and philosophy. One of Khwaja Nasir's greatest achievements during this period was the revision of Ptolemy's astronomical models. Ptolemy, who lived over 1,000 years earlier, had proposed a model of the universe based on circular motion and the immobility of the Earth. Khwaja Nasir, with precision and creativity, proposed more advanced models that corrected the flaws of Ptolemy's model and improved the understanding of planetary motion. These revisions later inspired scientists such as Copernicus. Khwaja Nasir also played an important role in politics and diplomacy. As advisor and diplomat to Hulagu Khan, he managed to prevent feudal wars and further destruction, creating conditions for science and culture to continue under Mongol rule. Khwaja Nasir al-Din Tusi was a man ahead of his time. In an era when many scholars were confined to specific disciplines, he served as a bridge between various sciences and philosophy, a fusion clearly reflected in his works and achievements. The influence of Khwaja Nasir al-Din Tusi extended beyond the borders of Iran. European scholars, including Nicholas Copernicus centuries later, benefited from his astronomical and philosophical reforms, adopting many of his achievements as the foundation for their own work. Thus, Khwaja Nasir became a historical bridge connecting Eastern and Western knowledge. The life of Khwaja Nasir al-Din Tusi went beyond the realms of science and philosophy. He lived during one of the most turbulent periods in the history of Iran and the Islamic world, when politics and war often cast a heavy shadow over knowledge and culture.
If you enjoyed it, please like, share with your friends, and subscribe.
During this time, Khwaja Nasir was not only a scholar, but also a diplomat, advisor, and mediator among powers. The Mongol invasion of Iran and the fall of Baghdad marked a defining point in his life. Many scholars and people fled or lost their lives, but Khwaja Nasir, with wisdom and prudence, secured a position in Hulagu Khan's court and used this opportunity to protect science and knowledge. His role as Hulagu's scientific advisor was not limited to technical or scholarly advice. He played a key role in the cultural and scientific management of the era, helping to create a safer environment for scholars and researchers. Therefore, even in difficult times, the Maragheh Observatory and other scientific centers continued their activities. It is said that to persuade Hulagu Khan to build the Maragheh Observatory, Nasir al-Din Tusi had a large iron basin thrown forcefully from the highest tower in Maragheh at midnight. A thunderous noise echoed throughout the city, causing panic and chaos as people fled their homes. Nasir al-Din, watching the commotion with Hulagu, said to him, "My lord, observe this. As long as such unexpected events occur, and we lack knowledge and awareness about them, we will remain confused like this. But through inquiry and scientific investigation, we can understand these phenomena, discover them, and face their occurrence without fear or confusion." This event convinced Hulagu Khan to approve the construction of the Maragheh Observatory. Nasir al-Din Tusi was the true and evident manifestation of Iranian genius and courage. While he could have lived a quiet, worry-free life hiding in the Alamut fortress, he chose instead to risk his life for the salvation of his homeland and people, as well as for scientific research. By going to Hulagu Khan's court, this brilliant Iranian scholar influenced Hulagu Khan so profoundly that after his arrival, the Mongols no longer caused destruction in Iran and gradually began to rebuild what they had destroyed. Khwaja Nasir al-Din Tusi was Hulagu Khan's special advisor and, through his support, achieved all he sought through scientific research. This is the artistry of an Iranian who can absorb difficulties and transform them into great opportunities. Perhaps if Khwaja Nasir al-Din Tusi and thousands like him had not taken this gamble to get close to the Mongols and influence them, there might be no trace left of Iran, and all would have been destroyed. Yet, in the harshest times, notable men always emerge who save their land and people through their efforts. The life of Khwaja Nasir al-Din Tusi was full of scientific, philosophical, ethical, and political achievements. But more importantly, the messages conveyed by his life offer valuable lessons for every time and generation. After years of efforts across various fields, Khwaja Nasir passed away in 672 AH, 1274 AD. However, unlike the physical end of his life, his legacy never ceased. The knowledge, wisdom, and ethics he bestowed upon the world continue to be a guiding light for researchers, philosophers, and seekers of truth. Khwaja Nasir's main message to us is that science and knowledge, when combined with ethics and spirituality, gain an unparalleled power to advance and serve humanity. He showed that science is not merely confined to formulas and theories, but must serve humanity and justice. Khwaja Nasir's life also teaches us to face problems and crises with wisdom, patience, and prudence. Amidst his turbulent era, he managed to keep the light of knowledge shining through the darkness of war and politics, passing it on to future generations. Moreover, Khwaja Nasir emphasized that culture and knowledge should be universal, transcending geographical and religious boundaries. This open and bridging spirit made his works influential not only in the Islamic world, but also in Europe. Today, as the world faces complex challenges, we can learn important lessons from Khwaja Nasir al-Din Tusi's life and thoughts. Respect for knowledge, the pursuit of truth, balance between reason and emotion, and the importance of ethics in every aspect of life. Khwaja Nasir al-Din Tusi, beyond being a scholar, is a symbol of a person who, through belief in wisdom and humanity, was able to build a better world. His life story inspires all those who seek the light of knowledge and wise guidance on their life path. Khwaja Nasir al-Din Tusi, the pioneer of science and wisdom, bridged reason and faith with his genius and belief. His legacy is an eternal light shining through the darkness of history, guiding future generations on the path of wisdom and justice. Knowledge is the path to liberation.